Hey everyone, welcome back to my podcast. And here I am with another interesting conversation with Aditya Bhavsar, who is a published author, food blogger, and the CEO of his own venture called The Digital Aditya. And being a seasoned content marketer, he has been doing this for almost 4 years now. He and his team can help you craft a compelling story that will draw your audience in. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Hey Aditya, welcome to my podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited to be here today.
How was your day? Like, I know we are talking late in the night, but I'd like to know what all you did today.
Sunday, mostly weekends are very peaceful for me. I keep the weekends mostly empty. I like to spend the entire day for myself because in weekdays I don't get much time. Like I run from like 10 to 7:30 office, then either it's gym or I also do food blogging. So either it's gym or I am busy at a cafe or at a restaurant or at a hotel something. And then I come home by like 9 or sometimes 10. After that, it's usually I'm very exhausted. So I have dinner, I make my tea, I read a bit and then it's already night.
Yeah.
So yeah, Saturday, Sundays are pretty relaxing so today I did nothing. I woke up, very late, let's say 10 something, and I read for a while. I had my lunch. I sat with my parents.
Wow.
We discussed everything. And then I called up a few friends to check on them. Right, just before this call, I was watching our T20 match, India versus Australia.
Oh.
Well, we lost the cup, but still, we are kind of beating them in T20 series right now. So
Exactly.
that's a bit reassuring.
Yes. And I'm curious as to what you're reading currently.
So currently, I'm reading Psychology of Money. It's a very good book. Actually, I'm rereading it. I read it probably a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So right now I'm rereading a couple of chapters. So it has very good chapters. For example, the second one is about luck and, luck and unlucky. So basically it explains the difference between what success is and what we call it a failure in terms of being lucky and being unlucky. And it's very insightful. So, you should definitely read that entire book. I mean, I cannot, get through the essence of that book directly to you, but yes, it's definitely worth reading.
Yeah. So let's start from the very beginning. I think you've started off as content writer or was
Actually,
food blogging.
The journey has been very interesting because, honestly, I started out of I just wanted to get a job, at this point. So this is the time we are talking when I was I just completed my 12th and I just wanted to get a job, anything. You give me anything. I was ready to learn. I was ready to do it. And so essentially my first job, which, probably this is the first time we're talking about, it is not mentioned anywhere. So my first job was as a customer service executive. I used to work with Motive. Now that company has been acquired by TTEC. I used to work for eBay's buyer department for UK. So I used to help with their queries about all the buying queries, whether it's about any product or anything that they have received faulty, etc., etc. So that's when I started. I remember vividly, it was February 2018, and I worked there for a couple of months, and I was doing very good there. I was getting all 5 stars from all the customers, thanks to my communication skills. But then it got pretty boring for me. After just a couple of months, I knew like this wasn't something I would be doing 12 months down the road or even 5 years down the line. So I switched the career to copywriter initially. I started working at a company, the local IT company here itself in Ahmedabad. And at that time, I remember they hired me because I was, enthusiastic. I was ready to learn, and obviously I was like ready to work essentially for free. I mean, you give me anything, you don't give me anything, I'm ready to do it.
Okay.
So the stipend was just 5,000 a month. This is in 2018, and so I worked there for 2 months. And then again, it was very exhausting because they were literally squeezing every ounce of energy out of me.
Yeah.
But then I got to learn a lot of things. So I left after 2 months. We also had a bond kind of thing in that IT agency that if you don't complete a certain amount of months or anything, you will be sued, etc. So I was like, I'm not feeling good. I'm out of here. But anyways, I learned a lot of things from that agency. The basics of writing. You can say it was just getting started. I was just getting started, so I cannot say I was a great writer. Of course, I was amateur, but then I switched to another IT agency where I worked for a very long time. I worked for almost 2 years there, and that is when in the first 6 months were very crucial because I was almost a beginner, and from then on I had to scale, and I was the only writer in that agency handling all their products.
Oh.
So I used to create blogs, web pages, press releases, ebooks, white papers, you name it. Pretty much everything was on me. But then, it just got me, I got a very good exposure. I learned, how to create press releases, everything from scratch. Because I had the zest, I had the appetite that, no matter what it takes, I'll do to, learn, I'll do whatever it takes to be here because it was a good company and I was having a good time.
Okay, great.
So after working there for a couple of years, I was ready enough to start my own agency. And so I started off. Initially, it was a bit difficult. Everything was like how to get clients. So I was literally, I had never, done a business. So I didn't know anything about business. Yes, a little bit of basics I knew because I had read a couple of books. But then again, unless and until you work in real life, you don't know how everything works.
Yeah.
So that is when I switched to my agency and I figured out everything from scratch. Be it how to get clients, how to nurture them, how to kind of get the most out of them, pretty much everything. And since then I started off alone and right now we are a team of 10 people. We have our own physical office as well in Ahmedabad. And so because of God's grace,
Yes.
it's doing pretty well.
And congratulations on getting that, workspace, your agent.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So how did you land your very first client? Like when you are new to the market, and I'm assuming 3 years back, digital marketing was picking up, and now it is at its peak. But even back then, cutthroat competition. So how did you land your first client?
Essentially, I believe, people are the most important resource, be it whether you're doing business or whether you're working as an employee, people are your most important resource. If you have the right people around you, right connections, that's why, you might have heard this, your network is your net worth.
Yes.
That phrase gets thrown around quite often, but then it makes a lot of sense because my first few projects, they were actually from, people I knew very well. You can say them acquaintances or they knew me very well. So when I started, I got a project from one of my old friends who he wanted to create a personal speaking website. We still manage that project. Then again, a couple of friends who kind of trusted me with my expertise. And that's how, and the best part is the clients that I started with, we are still, working on their projects. And we are still managing their websites. We are still managing their digital marketing campaigns, etc.
Okay.
So that's how it started.
Yeah, great. And so now your agency, the Digital Aditya, what all services you guys provide? Could you just brief me?
Definitely. So we offer everything from web development to digital marketing to SEO, social media marketing, influencer marketing, and reputation management.
Oh, reputation management. I'm hearing it for the first time. What is it exactly?
Actually, it's more or less reputation management is another better name for damage control.
Mm.
So, for example, huge companies like, for example, Whitehead Junior. If you know, they had been trolled or they had been called upon by Pradeep Punia a couple of years ago for not having the right tutors or for exploiting parents
Yeah.
and giving out false commitments, etc. So, like huge companies like that, when they kind of get called upon or, when there are a lot of people spreading kind of negativity about them, they, of course, you need someone to clear that mess up. You cannot do it yourself, otherwise it can backfire, which Whitehead Junior did. They tried to, clean the mess themselves and it kind of backfired on them, and we filed a lawsuit against Pradeep Punia. Pradeep Punia fought back. Pradeep Punia won. It's a whole story. I mean, if you know, you know. But so yes, reputation management is just that. I mean, huge companies, they kind of hire agencies like us to to kind of moderate their online presence and to kind of moderate what are the kind of comments that people are posting. So, for example, you might have seen this very frequently that people kind of tweet. Now, so you cannot say tweet, but people X
Yeah.
Airtel, for example, or GI for not getting the right service.
Yes.
They posted on Quora, they posted on Reddit, they posted on their own blog, Facebook. So there are like multiple such platforms. So a reputation management agency, they kind of moderate all these platforms. We moderate certain hashtags, certain company names or mentions, and we act as a damage control. So if there is something, we kind of immediately respond. If there's something, completely false, we kind of get rid of it. And if it's something that we cannot get rid of it, then we kind of bury it with something more positive. So yeah.
Got it. Going forward, reputation management is gonna be everyone's requirement because we see so many.
Even today it is. Everyone needs it, whether you realize it or not. I mean, large scale companies, so they definitely need it.
Exactly. And so, Aditya, how do you cope with these fast changing trends and technologies in digital marketing? I mean, like the tool that you're using today, tomorrow it's gonna just go out of date. I mean, it's just changing so quickly with AI and stuff. So how are you like keeping up with this? I feel
essentially, yes, tools may not change. I mean, tools usually they kind of just upgrade. They just keep upgrading the features.
Okay.
So, for example, Google Analytics has been upgraded a couple of times since we started using it. Right now, the interface and everything is different. So, and again, the tools are already, the results are already there. So, for example, for new Google Analytics, there are already courses available online. So how to cope up with all those things. So yes, it's just the resourcefulness that we need. Resources are already out there. If you have the zest and appetite to kind of learn and be ahead of the crowd, then yeah, there are plenty of resources available out there.
Yeah. So do you stick to few trusted tools and don't get too excited when there's a shiny tool released in the market? So we call it shiny toy syndrome or something, like people just switch their tools till something newer is in the market or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, experimenting is always part of the process. I mean, that's how you kind of optimize, everything. So if you are using, let's say, SEMrush today, for example, tomorrow we'll also try Uber Suggest. The other day we'll also try, the same campaign with maybe some other, for example, mall. And we'll measure results from each and every, this company. So whichever is working best and whichever is cost effective. So there are three measures, easiest, quickest, fastest, cheapest, If any of these tools, they kind of hit the more number of boxes, we'll use that.
Okay. Good. So earlier you said that you have like 10 full-time employees right now at your agency. So what are some of the skills or qualities that you look for when hiring or working with other digital marketers?
So one of the main, qualities that we look for is again the appetite. It's okay if you don't know everything. There are enough resources out there to learn.
Yeah.
But then if you're not ready to learn, then there is nothing we can do about it. So yes, number one is appetite, their passion, and skill set is also a part of it. But then, as I say, we can always improve the skill set, but we cannot change the mindset. So that's a very important distinction. We kind of look at their mindset because we have a huge repository of courses for each and every field, whether it's SEO, copywriting, digital marketing, reputation management. We already have the repository. So if anyone joins us, so if you're hiring a copywriter, they go through all the copywriting modules just to make sure that his skill set is in alignment with the other writers working with us. So we are on the same page. Once he goes through each and every course, each and every module, he is in line with the other items. So that's how we ensure we deliver a consistent quality of work.
Okay. Great.
So yeah, appetite and mindset is something that we always look out for. And friendliness as well. We also ensure that, they are not feeling the ass for me especially and everyone else.
Yes, exactly. So in your 3+ years of journey, after establishing the digital Aditya, how have you handled, the feedback or the criticism that, you've been getting or you got in the past from your clients, and how did you work around that? Especially, you started and you landed a client, but then I think there would be a lot of back and forth in what they are envisioning and what we are delivering, and there would be a lot of feedback sessions. Are those like tiring? Do they push you too much? Do they overwhelm you?
It starts with, first of all, you have to be crystal clear about what your client is expecting out of you. Once you both are on the same page, then everything else gets easier. You work your way backwards from understanding your client's expectations. And as far as feedback is concerned, yes, it's not always shiny and glittery out there. Sometimes, even though you give your best output, it's not, received well. And it's part of the process. You don't take it personally. For example, the best example would be the recent World Cup match. When they gave out their best output throughout the World Cup. If you see, we won 10 out of 10 matches.
Yes.
And the final match it was just not our day. We kind of take it very positively. It's okay. The whole point is we don't take it personally. You didn't like it, it's completely fine. It's not that we are not capable enough or the client is idiot. We just have different ways of looking at it. So yeah, no problem. If you don't like this, we'll rework it. Let us know what are the opportunities that we can work on and how do you want it. So that's it. It's never about frustration or we understand it. It's just part of the process. So it's not just we understand, we even expect it. We expect that, we have given our best. That it's our duty, we have given our best. But again, the client might not, take it well, and it's completely fine. It's just part of the process. So yeah, once you start expecting that, you're going to get, your client is going to pinpoint like 10 things in this thing, then, taking feedback gets easier because it didn't come as a surprise like, oh crap, how can you say that? This is my best work. How can you even say that? It's not like that. I knew you might say something like this. So yeah, let me know how we can fix this.
Sure. So, during your tenure, like as an entrepreneur, what was your favorite digital marketing campaign or a project that you worked? and you kind of like say that, this has been lots of fun. I mean, each and every project that you take up would be fun, but something that kind of still stand, stands out in your memory.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I cannot name the brand, but it was a consumer brand,
Okay.
and we didn't get much success with the campaigns that we created. But then we kind of changed that. So initially we focused on SEO and paid ads, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But then that wasn't getting that wasn't moving the needle for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we switched a couple of strategies, and then finally we started influencer marketing. That's when we started offering that service for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately things took a turn. So
Mm-hmm.
that turned out to be a very good return on investment for our clients.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of gained back that trust, and it was a very huge brand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm not mentioning the name. It was a very huge brand, and it was one of the most memorable projects for us, because we were just about to lose the client, and then the last minute we kind of turned the tables, and even today we are working with them.
Great. Great. And Aditya, I'm just curious, like, how do you measure, the success of your digital marketing campaigns? Like, you are doing it for your clients, but how do you measure if it is really like, you've mentioned the term like ROI, or, is it only ROI, or are there other criteria that you check to measure that, okay, a campaign is successful, or whatever we devise, the strategic plan is pretty...
So actually, it's like, for each and every client, it's different. It kind of boils down to their goals. For example, so for a brand, if a brand just wants to, create awareness, it comes down to the number of follows that we get for them, or number of engagement, that we get for their, the content that we push out. For someone, it's about getting more number of conversions. We kind of focus on the number of leads that we get. So the key performance indicator is different for each and every client that we work with. And there are tools to measure each and everything. So for example, for measuring Instagram, all those, we have dedicated tools for measuring social media. We have dedicated tools for measuring, the number of leads that we get. There is Google Analytics, Google Search Console for, traffic and all. So it kind of depends on the goals as well as the key performance indicators.
Okay, got it. Okay, another random question. Why the name the Digital Aditya? I mean, people don't really, I don't usually come across people putting their name in the agency. I mean, they come up with something, I don't know, something catchy, philosophical, Greek, Latin. They don't tend to put their own name. So why the Digital Aditya? Are you like nomad?
I can say, I can simply say I'm obsessed with my name, but then at that time, I wasn't probably thinking enough, I didn't put much thought into it. I just kind of started it as Digital Aditya, and it kind of it worked well enough. After that, we also have a couple of subsidiaries. For example, we have Marketing Pros. It's one of our subsidiaries. We have Bulls Digital. It's again one of our subsidiaries. There are multiple subsidiaries that we have. But then yes, the Digital Aditya is the core team that works with all the projects that we get through those subsidiaries as well.
Oh, okay. So these subsidiaries have their own specific functions. I mean,
they kind of help us get more leads. So, so on the front end, you might have contacted Marketing Pros.
Yeah.
And for you, it's Marketing Pros who is working for you. But then beneath it, it's the Digital Aditya spread across for each and every, front that we have. So just like marketing tools, we have multiple such fronts.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no matter from where we get the lead, we kind of, it's the same team working on each and every project.
Okay. And how do you keep yourself updated about the latest trends in digital marketing, and how do you stay motivated? I mean, I remember just before we started the podcast, I was asking you your age, and
Mm-hmm.
you're so young, and I mean, of course, you have started the agency, but back then, I mean, I'm talking about my back then, I
Mm-hmm.
was, I mean, I wouldn't even think of doing something like what you have done. So, I mean, how do you keep yourself motivated, and you sound so positive and, like, oh, I'm going to do this. I wasn't like that at all. And when I see it in somebody, I feel like this admiration.
Mm-hmm.
So how,
So,
I know it's not easy at all. It's very, like, you must have gone through a lot of sleepless nights, meeting your deadlines, but still,
yeah,
how
yeah.
how are you so upbeat and motivated, and how do you keep yourself updated also about the trends in digital marketing?
So, to answer your both the questions with just one, there's just one answer to both of your questions.
Mm-hmm.
The secret to leading is reading. This I learned at a very young age, and I started reading voraciously.
Mm-hmm.
Since as long as I remember, since school days I was reading. I
Mm-hmm.
read a lot of books on psychology, human psychology, peak performance, marketing, you name it, success, happiness. So I know these subjects very deeply. So it's not just I have read, I have actually digested those subjects, and I live by those rules each and every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, reading kind of keeps me updated with everything that's new and trendy, as well as it has also helped me keep, stay ahead, because it's like, when you read,
Mm-hmm.
so when an author writes a book, he or she kind of squeezes, their life experience in 60 to 100 pages or maybe 300 pages or whatever the book size is.
Exactly.
So, for example, if Craig Ritchie, he writes a book, he has squeezed his life experience, everything that he has learned by trial and error, into just 100 pages.
Yeah.
So if you can read those 100 pages in 30 days, you are actually 60 years older in just 30 days. You gain 60 years worth of wisdom in less than 30 days if you complete that book in 30 days.
Yeah.
Same likewise, if you keep on doing this, if you keep on piling up, if you keep on reading books one by one, it actually end up gaining years of wisdom in just a couple of months or a couple of years. So that's how I kind of look at it. So yeah, it has helped me, I know ways to stay motivated. So for example, I also written about this in my book. There is this idea about, the jar of awesome. I learned it first from Tim Ferriss. So it's pretty simple. You kind of sit down every day at a particular time. It could be anything. Like for me, it's like after I complete my day, it's about like 12 a.m. something. Just write three things that you're grateful for today in a sheet. It could be anything. It could be you met someone. It could be as little as, just waking up today and it was a good weather. Anything. Or you achieved something, you completed a milestone, etc. Just three things. And you put it in a glass jar. Glass jar is important. I'll come to that a little bit later.
Okay.
And that's it. You just write three things. You put those notes in a glass jar. That's it. And and you put the glass jar at a place where it is easy to see it.
Yeah.
So now the best part is whenever you will feel low and you will inevitably feel low on some days. It's inevitable. No matter how high achiever you are or how great you are, there will be days when you will be doubting yourself or feeling low. During those days, you do nothing. You just open the jar up and you start reading those notes, and you immediately feel grateful. You immediately feel how blessed you are because those are the things that actually happen to in your life. You haven't made anything up. Those were real moments. You achieved something. You met someone. You made a new friend. Anything. These are the kind of examples that you get from that jar. And you leave there and you feel so grateful. It's like, oh my God, I've done so much in my life, and why I'm beating myself up right now? It's okay. Today was a bad day. That doesn't mean my life is shit. I
Exactly.
have had so many good days, and the reason why a class jar is because whenever you are doing something, you can actually even just a glimpse of it will kind of make you feel good. Yeah, that's that.
Wow. That's really amazing. I mean, these are little things. If we do it, I guess over time, our default state becomes being grateful.
Actually. And the best part about gratitude is that, when you're grateful, you cannot experience anything else. So you cannot be angry and grateful at the same time. Either you can be angry or you can be grateful. So whenever you're grateful, you're actually in the best and most beautiful state of your life.
Exactly. Totally. And you've mentioned about your book, Be Successful.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know more about it. Like, I would definitely pick it up and read it. But before that, I want you to uh, give a brief about your writing process. When
Mm-hmm.
exactly did you, write it? Like, how old were you then, and what was the process?
So I was like 19, only when I started, and again I published it when I was 19 itself.
Mm-hmm.
So the process was like I dedicated almost 6 months to the process where I used to write for the entire night. So I have a natural clock of midnight. I'm more active in night hours.
Okay.
So this is, for example, this is my best time. Right now we are talking. This is the best time, best couple of hours of my day.
Okay.
So I used to write during midnight,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to write till morning. I used to go for a walk once I've completed writing. So this would be like I would start at 12 and I would end up at 6 or something in the morning. I would go for a walk and then I would come back and I would rest.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, in the evening, I would again start my day. I would I'd be freshened up and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my writing schedule was mostly during midnight.
Wow. Great. And you were like balancing your academics while writing? Is that it?
Essentially, yeah, academics was a part of it, but then I was not, a great student, so to say. I was always average or below average student. So, for me, Pythagoras theorem didn't make any sense, but how to strengthen your relationship with your loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
that made more sense. I used to, even during that time, I used to read books on, every different subject, be it parenting, human psychology. So yeah.
So I think all those years of reading and putting yourself out there by experimenting via various media like writing, digital marketing, I think all of it has added up, and I think we see the results now that you are
Absolutely.
leading
Yeah.
your own empire. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. And while digital marketing, I mean, you could have been a full-time author, I believe, because I can literally feel like I'm talking to a writer.
Yeah, I mean, see, once a writer always is a writer. I mean, even today I write, personal blogs, my own keep notes. So it's not that I don't write anymore. But yes, my role has been upgraded from writer to editor or a proofreader. Now, I get to, proofread or correct the articles that I have created by my team. But then, the reason why I started the agency was, there are two things, something that you're passionate about and something that you're good at. And
Mm.
it necessarily doesn't have to be the same thing. So I was good at, digital marketing, web development and all those things. And I was passionate about, stand-up comedy, motivational speaking, food blogging, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things that I do it for free. So if you tell me today, there's a keynote you have to deliver to students, college students or a school, anything, I'll be more than happy to do it for free. But then if you tell me you want to build a website, I would say that, this is the charges for it.
Mm.
And I cannot do it for free. So I'm good at it. So I'm good at both of those things. But then, I'm passionate about speaking. So I'm more than happy to do it for free. But then, yeah, I make my living by creating websites, and handling digital marketing campaigns and all. So yeah, I created the agency because I always wanted the freedom that it gave. Now I right now if I want to travel tomorrow, if I don't want to go to work, I don't have to ask someone or I don't want to have to ask for permission that hey, is it okay if I don't come tomorrow? Like it's my day.
I get it absolutely. And so, how is the scene of digital marketing like back then when you started and now with people, are just talking only about AI and nothing else, and they think AI would just take over almost anything, especially as you are,
So
whatever we're doing.
essentially, I mean, AI cannot take away anything. I mean, it can only make your life easier and better. AI tools, of course. So for example, writers, they will, their role will be upgraded to editors. Of course, they should have the skill set to be an editor in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, writers cannot get like literally outdated or obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
Their roles will be upgraded to editor or proofreader. For example, if ChatGPT is writing, someone has to proofread it, right? Someone has to fact check it, whether, if they have written a statistics about, let's say, anything, Google, for example. If it's right or wrong, you have to proofread it, you have to fact check it. So yeah, writers, their roles will be upgraded to editors and proofreaders.
Hmm. Exactly.
So if you have the skill set, your job, it's going nowhere.
Hmm. Great. Great. And like in digital marketing, what are some common mistakes or pitfalls that during your research before establishing the digital Aditya, during your research phase, you might have studied some companies around you or people who have wanted to or who have started what you wanted to start and who couldn't make it. So what were those common mistakes and pitfalls that you have kind of realized beforehand by reading either books or, watching people around you, and you were able to kind of navigate around those pitfalls? Like, were there any that you kind of just...
So having a team is very important, when you run an agency. So I see a lot of, one army agencies, they call themselves agencies, but then essentially they are a freelancer. They are, if you should ask who are, your teammates, there wouldn't be anyone. They would be working completely all alone,
Yeah.
like a lone wolf. But then that's not how we navigate this market because, what clients prioritize is, timely deliverables, quality work. And, if you have a lot of clients, you cannot do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, not having a team, is something that, you should build a team, you should build a strong base. And, that's a strong base will create an incredibly strong building.
Great. That is, I think people, they just want to do everything. Maybe either they're too excited or maybe they're not being realistic enough, but they just want to do everything.
Yeah. And it's okay if you want to do everything, but then they want to do everything and that too, by themselves. That cannot be,
Mhm.
that cannot happen.
Great. So, early in our conversation, you said that like on a weekend you try to wind down a little and relax, read, and you you were or I guess I'm still assuming you still do food blogging.
Yes.
Do you?
I do it. I do it. We are about to, we are, close to 50,000 followers. I mostly do it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's a great experience. I get to explore a lot of, cool places in and around the city. Uh, it's always a new experience when you go to a new place, a new cafe, a newly opened restaurant, or probably a concert or anything. So yeah.
Yeah, how did this food blogging start? I mean, I can understand that you were a content writer for various companies, but those companies are not anywhere into anything to do with food, I believe. So how
Yeah,
did it come into picture?
actually, so food blogging was, it's initially I started posting about my food experiences at different cafes, restaurants, and then after a while, I started getting, people started noticing, they started following, they started asking queries. If I want to take my, life partner for a date, what kind of cafe can you suggest? She likes Punjabi and she'll tell to that. And so that's how it started. And then cafes and restaurants, they kind of started noticing that, this guy is posting and people are actually looking up to him for advice and suggestions. So, why not invite him? And then, restaurants and cafes, they started inviting me. They started inviting me to their outlets, to their, newly open cafes, everything. And yeah, that's how it started. And yeah, it's still going pretty well. I mean, like next week, my entire week is booked. I'll be going every day. There are like 2 to 3 cafes along with my work schedule. So yeah, next week is pretty crazy.
So all of this has started by you posting on Instagram and stuff, right? So you
Yeah.
okay. So talk about the social media's role in your life. I mean, looks like you were able to probably reach out to people and also even land clients via social media. So I've seen your LinkedIn profile and you're talking about Instagram. And what are the other social media platforms that you predominantly use to kind of uh, develop your reachability or visibility?
So, this is funny and a little bit ironic because I was a minimalist initially. A couple of years back, I was a minimalist. I didn't have any of the social media apps.
Oh.
Not a single app installed on my device because, I kept things pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But then, now if I think about it, gradually I started using it because I used to think, that when you are getting something for free, essentially you are the product itself for that company. So for example, you use Facebook for free. You use Facebook and Instagram for free. It's not free.
Yeah.
Instagram is actually selling your attention to advertisers. So you are the ultimate product for them.
Yeah.
So I wasn't, active on any of the platforms initially. Then gradually, they started turning out to be, good opportunities
Yeah.
for me especially. So that's when I thought, like if I leverage this the right way, it can actually work in my favor that rather than draining me down. It can actually help me get my voice out. So even if it's a food channel on my Instagram, I kind of post stand-up videos, some motivational videos pretty much every day. So essentially, it is helping me. It is a medium it is being a medium to an end goal, just influencing people in all the ways I can. So whether I do it with my book or my reels or my YouTube videos, anything, anyways, they are just the mediums to an end.
That is so you so do you have a team that takes care of your social media accounts or you yourself kind of able to give it that time?
So yeah, I mean, it's difficult, it's tricky, but then yeah, I kind of managed to, squeeze out enough time for all those things as well.
Great. Great. So, uh, any final advice for people, let's say, who also want to either start off as freelancing digital marketers or they want to start their own digital marketing company? What is your advice for them? Like this area, how is it like transforming every day? I mean, it's like you said, everyone is vying for our attention, and we have to help our clients to get some sort of visibility out there. So
Mm-hmm.
the competition is cutthroat. People, they watch something today, something has gone viral today, and tomorrow no one really thinks about it. So it's whatever you're doing, it's actually very tough. Such as grabbing people's eyeballs and making them think about something over a period of time, given our attention spans are just getting reduced every day. So, what is your advice like to navigate in this digital marketing
So,
world?
no matter what, I mean, whether it's digital marketing, it's a job that you do, it's food blogging that you do, it's a book that you write, or it's, a stand-up comedy that you do, or you give out a keynote or a motivational speech,
Mm-hmm.
everything, no matter what you do, just, this is a basic rule that I've lived by my entire life. I mean, I try to add double the value that I'm paid for. So if you pay me 1 rupee, I try to add as much value as 2 rupees. I go above and beyond to deliver as much value as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like when I used to work, in a corporate agency, there were employees who had very minimal, who would waste their entire day, who wouldn't be enough, who wouldn't give out, much productivity, or who just casually waste their time, deliberately waste their time, etc., etc. And they're like, we are getting paid X amount of money by the end of the month, so why even bother? If you're doing less work and you're still getting the same pay, why even bother? I had a very different mindset. I mean, I would go above and beyond, to deliver as much value as I possibly can. I used to, do everything it takes. If you need extra hours, I was more than happy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually played a significant role in, helping me grow
Yeah.
in each and every field. So even today, I started it as a passion, the food blogging, but now cafes are also ready to pay, for me visiting them. So a lot of, paid engagements are also a part of the deal. So yes, there also I try to do, the same thing, whether you're paying me, whatever you're paying me, I do, my best to add double the value, to give you double the value of your investment in me. It kind of piles up. People think that, why even bother? I'm like, no, it kind of piles up and you will get immense returns in the long run. It's not, something that you can measure or count, but then yes, in the long run, it will definitely give you good returns.
Yeah, so basically not cutting corners and just giving your best.
Actually, yes.
That's amazing. I mean, whatever you're doing is amazing, Aditya, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for doing this and thank you for giving me your precious time. It truly means a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And yeah, always happy to help.
Yeah.